Hello and welcome back to another Hitfilm tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can make your own Shockwave inside of Hitfilm Express. I am using 4 assets from Film Riot's Infinity Pack. These 4 elements can be found for free in Film Riot's free quarantine pack that they created recently. That pack can be found on their website, which I will leave a link to in the description. So, let's get on with this tutorial. So, these Shockwave elements are 4K and 23.976 frames per second, which means that they're really high quality. The one thing that you might want if you're trying to make a really bright explosion is some colour, as these are just in black and white. I'm going to go up to New, Composite Shot, and create a new composite shot. I'm going to call this Shockwave, and then I'm going to drag and drop Shockwave 10 onto the timeline. Okay, so I have now just scaled down this element to make it so that I can actually see what it's doing. And I'm going to add some colour to this. There are a number of different ways that you can do this inside of Hitfilm Express, and you could use the colour vibrance effect if you have the colour looks add-on, which is just here, which if you just drag and drop the colour vibrance effect onto this kind of a thing, it immediately makes it brighter and more colourful, and then you have loads of settings that you can use. However, this is part of an add-on pack, and if you're just creating this effect completely for free, then you could use something like Hue Colourize. And if you drag and drop this onto your video layer, you'll see that it does absolutely nothing. There is no difference between having it off and having it on. But then, when you open up these settings, you will see that you have some colour options for the hue, have some options for the hue strength, the saturation, and also the lightness. So if I just increase the saturation, you can start to see colour being introduced. Okay, so the one issue with this is that we have a black background, so if I start to increase the lightness, it will then start brightening up this black background. So I'm now going to search for the demult effect in the Effects tab, and I'm going to drag and drop this below the Hue Colourize. As you can see, that has now removed the black background. You could also use a blending mode to create a similar effect. And now, if you don't want your Shockwave to be red, you can then change the degrees on the hue option. And as you can see, we're now going through different colours. There are also some presets for some colours, which if you just go over to the presets tab, you can change it over to being a different colour. I quite like this as it's kind of like a goldy orange, which looks quite interesting. However, at the moment we have only got this one Shockwave, which while that could be useful, we might want to make it more interesting. So I'm now going to drag and drop some different Shockwave assets from the pack in. So I'm going to drag Shockwave 15 down. As you can see, this is now just completely covered up the Shockwave that we just made, or coloured. So now if I shrink this down once again, then it's all in frame. Okay, so now if I drag the demult effect onto the footage, you can see that it removes the black background. And now if you want to colour this like we did previously, you want to drag the Hue Colourize effect, drag and drop this above the demult effect, and then you can set your custom colour. Now I'm going to drag the Shockwave fractals on, once again shrink it down. And I kind of want this to be slightly smaller than the other Shockwave elements, and then I'm going to have Shockwave Fractals 2 being larger. So once again, demult, and I'm also going to drag the Hue Colourize effect, and I'm going to put this above the demult, then set a custom colour, increase the saturation, play around with the settings, get something that I quite like. And then finally I'm going to get the Shockwave Fractals 2, put this above, and now I'm just going to scale this down so it's only just bigger than all of the other elements. And then I'm going to add the demult, and I'm going to put this onto the Shockwave element, and then I'm going to add the Hue Colourize. As you can see, we have quite easily made this shockwave, and it's also quite nice and colourful and vibrant. Of course, you can change this, make it look however you want. You can set up different colours. You can also change the scale of these elements, arrange them in different ways, and also offset timings and do all of that kind of stuff. You can also add glows and a zoom blur, and all sorts of things. Of course, it's completely up to you as to what you want to do. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found it useful, and if you did, then please leave a like and subscribe. And if you also want to, then you can follow me on Instagram at ndpproductions_workshop. Hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.